Alright, so one nice thing about this YouTube is that I can actually kind of discuss things and ask questions of my clients that they can then take some time, think about, and give me a call if they have questions. And some of the issues are kind of how we want to actually design this deck. What I just turned on was the AutoCAD drawing that is underlaid on my chief model. And so if you look at like this apron that's here at the bottom of the window, I can't snap right to it, but close. Come out to here, I'm only 2'10", and 7/8. So if I were to draw a circle, and let's circle about the center, and boy, I can't grab it again. So I'm just gonna have to get close and then draw it out, and we'll hit that. And then if I grab this circle and I look at it, we've got a radius that is under 3 feet. And any passageway, kitchens, wherever, is kind of like 3 feet. And in an outdoor space where you're, wanting to feel that openness and stuff, it just seems like, gosh, that's an awful small opening. And so how do we want to deal with this? If I look at other things that have to do with what's dimensioned out here, I've got dimensions turned off right now, so I can just do temporary stuff. So this is almost 16 inches. If we're going to just put a post down and wood frame a box around it to get, because we want this stone look on the outside, or are we going to do masonry and then build a 16-inch and then apply stone to the outside of that, this thing gets bigger. The blue is the cap as I imagined it, which, just kind of sets some preliminary sizes here. So that's 1'9.5". Form it with concrete, form a concrete cap, and pour in place. You can pour them, taper them, and get them in there so that gives good runoff. Put flat caps on there if you really wanted to. Prefer to have tapers, but of course you can pay more for that kind of expertise to get somebody to be able to build those for you. How much more, I'm not exactly sure. That's why we keep a contractor involved in our projects, and we do have one involved on this one. So he can also hop on my YouTube channel, look at these discussions, and I can send him a link and say, hey, can you watch this video? I just got some questions, and really looking for some answers as to control costs for our clients here. Have some obviously oddly shaped stuff. When I worked down in Arizona, our masons, they were just so used to working with block that they were just incredibly quick. There was so much of that type of construction down there that this is really not an issue. We just break out the corners and stuck them together, fill them with concrete, and they're ready to go. Another route is we think about these with a round footing underneath, because the area out there, I'm sure, almost 100% sure it's going to be an easy dig. And so we can auger a round hole, put caisson in there, pour that with concrete, put a post base on it, stick in like a 4x4 even. It's not going to take much weight-wise to hold this up. 6x6 if we're going to support the roof as well. Just because I like to be able to control the lateral movement, and there's better post bases for 6x6s than 4x4s, and I can give it some more stability. We start getting larger than that in the post itself, and I can actually get through Simpson these things called moment post bases, which actually create a moment. They do require a pretty large footing, but it's all about how much stability do we need to add, and we probably won't, because we've got a roof stabilizing it. We've got a tie-in between all these beams that are going to hold up the roof, and it becomes what's called a diaphragm. It gets very strong, very rigid. So it's more about, my questions are more gathered around, these distances. That's a little over 3 feet, but it's to the edge of the siding. to a corner that's somewhat near. There's almost 3 exactly, so we're not accounting for this. So we're pretty much minimums here. Do we want to go a little bit wider? And so if I go from about the wall, the siding, out to my railing, I'm at 4 feet. That's a nice dimension, especially for a deck. You want a little chair or something out there, you might need to push that to 5. So depends on really what you're after. And I guess I'm kind of making this video and at the same time posing these questions to my clients as to what they would like me to do to maximize this. And one option with putting down the caisson, 6x6, I think would be a great decision for the interior post, is then we wood frame this out. Now I can pull this down a little, I can shape it so that when you get that stonework wrapped around the outside, it's to the green mark and not out to this blue, buying us a little bit more room. Now we're over 3 instead of being just under. So is it still giving you exactly what you want? I don't know. And then again here, the straight across dimension is only 4 feet. So if you're thinking about, where am I going to put a bench? A couple of Adirondack chairs are huge. Then we've got to think about how this extends out. Problems with extending it. Right now I'm running a 412, so we're in pretty good shape all the way around. I'm hitting just below. With good flashing, we should be able to keep this in control with water. But if we extend that out, then this roof's going to kind of come up higher, or we have to lower the roof down, which may affect the amount of light into this room. The lower we get that, the less light that's going to get in through there. And then the other factor involved is if we wish we could decrease this to a 312 pitch. 312 is going to leave you open on a lot of choices for roofing materials, from standing seam metal roofs to asphalt roofs. Most manufacturers are pretty good with 312. You get below that, you're going to be really kind of pushing yourself to a mechanically seamed roof if you want metal, and you're going to get yourself into the only manufacturer I know of. That doesn't mean that there aren't others, but the only one I know of that will warranty a roof at 212 or more is Malarkey. So, and they do make a great roofing product, especially for areas where you get hail. Just the way that they, the actual granulation glue, I guess that you would call it, that holds that down, and I forget the exact name of that substance, but it's got a whole lot of memory, and so it can take impact and bounce back. And plus, their reputation on handling warranties is extremely strong. So, good words for them. There are probably other manufacturers out there with some great product as well. I know there are with great product, but I'm just talking about if we want to get this down as low as 212, and then with 212, are you going to be happy with the way it looks? So I'm kind of thinking just from an aesthetic point that if we extend this out, 312 would probably be about as low as we want to go. So I don't think, I can't do it from right here. In our last video, I'll show you something real quick. Materials, I changed this room to have this thatch siding for the walls, and now I can rebuild this room all I want, and those colors I won't have to keep painting them back on. I also could have used a painter. When you do select a material, then you can apply it to an object, a room, a floor, or a whole plan. So I could have picked one of those two instead of trying to figure out how I was going to rotate around to see that other side of the wall I couldn't see. At any rate, that was a different video, but it was the one right before this, so if the owners watch them in unison, or whoever is learning from this is watching it in unison, then that's that's the solution to that. So those questions aside, I'm going to keep this video kind of short so I can get some answers to some of this stuff. How do we want to treat this post? And remembering our goal as far as how this whole thing is going to end up is to try and find this look of this house. And when we're looking at this house, I'm going to bring up some columns and build some, find a product that's going to give us these nice colonnades. And I may even look for the arches. We may be limited to sizes when we find pre-manufactured components like these arches. So those will probably be site built. The posts, however, see what's out there so we can start to determine the correct height to build our pillars to. And then are we going to do a faux stone on this pillar? And again, I forgot to turn my little highlighter on, so I can't even see her, but I'm pointing at this guy right here. Or these arches, I don't think we'll find those except in some different types of very specific lengths. And when you get into straight and then an angled and then a straight, sometimes it's just better to build it. So we'll look at that. This had a very, very steep roof. I believe it was a 14 or even 16, maybe even 18 and 12, I forget. But it was tall. And so there it is there, and that is I believe that says 18 and 12. I can't read it from here. Might be 16 and 12. It was steep. At any rate, we're going to go smaller now. So that's enough for this. Mainly just some questions out there to my clients and stuff, and the sort of issues that we have to address. And then, like I said before, we'll come back. We'll fix this once we've got all the other roofs done. Then we'll go into some manual adjustments. So leaving auto build roofs on as long as I can. Anyway, that's it for now.